Guess what happened to me today?
There's a flag on the play, dude.
These are things that keep me up at night.
Being punched in the testicles?
This is Jose.
This is Ken.
Does anyone know where we are right now?
Happy Wednesday.
Happy Wednesday, everyone.
And Happy New Year.
Oh, yeah. After the holidays.
Yeah,
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. And hope everybody's back at work okay.
Welcome to 2024.
Yeah.
2 days into it.
So, Kenny and I have some sad news.
Yeah. Just at the end of the year there, we had a little loss of our little man, Monty.
Yeah, our little guy. He's 15 years old. Our little puppy, we call him.
Yeah, you'll see him in our pictures on Insta and Facebook or in our videos and stuff too.
Yeah, it was a sad day, but we knew it was coming eventually. You know, he was 15 years old, and
we weren't sure what was gonna get him. I thought we had a couple of years with him. I thought I'd have a couple more because, you know, I've seen people with older dogs and, you know, they kind of look old, or he always looked kind of young. He looked like he wasn't losing his hair. He didn't, you know, a little fog in his eyes, but he still had a little spring in his step.
Yeah, a little pep in his step there.
But it seemed to be kind of all of a sudden. And we took him in a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah, he just didn't want to, had no interest in eating the one morning, and that concerned me that he might have a tooth that was bothering him. So we thought, you know what, if he's going to be around for a bit, might as well get a quote, get his teeth done, and she ended up putting him on some antibiotics. It was something to do with his urine, Kenny? Like he had his blood. No, it was his blood or something. He had something. Anyways, so she put him on antibiotics, and he didn't take to the antibiotics too good.
Yeah, his white cells were a little higher or something weird like that.
Yeah. Anyways, so a couple mornings ago, the vet's pretty sure he suffered a stroke. So it was a sad day.
Yeah, we took him to the Island Animal Clinic here in Port Aransas, and she was so good. Like, the whole staff there is amazing.
Yeah, Dr. David and the front desk lady there, Kathy, was just lovely.
And she saw him a couple of weeks ago, and she wanted to put him on antibiotics, and she just I think you just said that, but when we brought him back that day, and it was the day we kind of saw that he had some major changes. He wasn't walking well and everything. She looked up and goes, "That's not the same dog. Something has happened."
Yeah.
So of course, she's not going to just put him down. She went through early tests and stuff like that, and checked him out. But
she checked his ears, but she thought maybe, you know, because the way he couldn't stand, she thought maybe it was a balance thing, and she just wanted to make sure. But she was very supportive with our decision, and, you know, I mean, she has to give us our options, you know, like...
Yeah, do you want more testing?
Yeah, more testing and stuff. And you and I have always agreed that we would never have him... I don't want to say tortured. That's a bad word. I just don't want him to suffer and to suffer through...
We wouldn't want him to prolong his life just for us.
Yeah.
Just
selfishly for us, yeah.
Yeah, we knew that he had had a great life from the time we got him. He was a bit of a rescue from a closed down, I guess, puppy mill or whatever.
Yeah. And we got him in Montebello.
Yeah.
Yeah. You and Gabby went and picked him up, and we didn't have a name for him for a bit. And it was a coworker of mine that had suggested we named him after the town we got him in. So we agreed to Monty, but he fell in love instantly with Gabby.
Yeah.
Like the first night we brought him home.
He would just stare at her.
Oh yeah, she was holding him, and he just couldn't stop staring at her. He was in rough shape. Like, he needed a grooming big time because he had long hair. He was part Maltese, so Maltese has really long hair, like those ones that the hair goes right to the ground. Obviously, we never did that with him. He wasn't a show dog, but I called our groomer because we had another dog, Harley, who was Bichon Maltese mix. Anyways, and he said, whatever you do, don't get him wet. He says, bring him in tomorrow for an emergency grooming. And so all I did was I trimmed the hair in his paws because they were just like caked with dog poop because he was in a cage the whole beginning of his life there. Yeah. So anyways, so we trimmed his feet and, you know, cleaned up around his eyes and stuff like that. And Gabby had him in a blanket, and she slept with him the whole night, and he did not leave her side.
No.
But after we took him to the groomers, and when we brought him home, man, he walked into the house. Like,
Oh, he was king.
something else.
Oh,
It
yeah.
was so funny. Anyways, yeah, he was quite the little character. He was a good dog, not a big barker.
No, he didn't make a lot of noise. That was the issue we had with him, is that he never barked to go out. He never barked to get food or whatever. We figured out later in life that, he would get agitated, or he would lick his paws or something if he needed something.
Yeah, he'd lick.
So, or he'd lick your leg, and you'd be like, "Why are you licking my leg?" Oh, he's probably got to go out and pee.
Yeah, we caught on to that a little later on. But
So, with a dog that doesn't make a lot of noise, we weren't sure if he was ever really in pain.
yeah.
For someone who doesn't make noise, but the night before all this happened, he had a screech out in the middle of the night, and like, for a dog that doesn't make any noise, it's lights on, what is going on?
It was terrifying. Yeah.
So we knew he kind of went through something, and then he wasn't able to stand up properly, and it was just, there was a lot of things that were issued. And what did she say? She
was pretty sure he suffered a stroke.
Yeah.
So, just because when we take him to the vet, anytime we would take him to the vet, he would shake. I mean, I'm sure any one of you that own a pet, the vet is not their favorite place to go. And he would be very nervous and, and shake the whole time. Whereas this is, we put him on the table and he just laid there, and he just stared at me, like, and no shaking, nothing. Like, to me, he wasn't there.
Yeah.
But even she says, this is not the same dog. So
Yeah.
anyway, so we made the tough decision, to say goodbye. And, as he left, his little tail wagged as, he passed away, and that gave me great comfort, because I kind of let out a little, we were crying, but we let out a little laugh. I'm like, it's probably Harley he's wagging his tail at.
Oh my God, yeah.
Waiting for him at the Rainbow Bridge. I mean, I don't know what you all like, what your comfort is. That was my comfort. I don't know.
They made a movie, All Dogs Go to Heaven, so it's...
Well, there you go. I just...
movies don't lie.
Yeah, they don't lie. But I don't know how y'all cope with, the loss of a pet. I know some people might think, it's just a dog, yeah, it's sad. But they
consume so much of your life.
So much of your life. Like, you got to get back home to feed the dog, or you got to, you got to plan somebody to watch a dog if you go away for the weekend. Like, there's always... You're always thinking about them. Like, if you're at work, you're either thinking he's tearing the house apart, or, maybe he needs to go to the bathroom, or maybe he's thirsty. I hope he didn't run out of water because he knocks his dish of water over all the time. Like, just, it consumes a lot of your thoughts. And I don't mean that in a negative way. And if it comes
just
across a negative,
for it.
It just,
if you're going to get a dog, it's going to get a dog for the right reason, and get a dog for the long run. It's going to be a all-encompassing part of your life.
Yeah.
It's not like a cat where you can leave it overnight with food for a couple of days or a day or so or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
you are their whole life. Like, as I keep saying, they're a big part of our lives, but you are their whole life.
Yeah.
Like, they're excited. You could leave the house for 2 seconds, or you could leave for 3 days. You get the same reaction when you walk back in. Like,
you go outside, just get something from the car, and you come back in and like, oh my God, where were you?
Yeah. It's so I mean, in the last 2 years, because 2 years ago we lost Harley. So and now for the last 2 years, because Monty's never been alone, and he doesn't do well on his own. Like I said, he's not a barker.
Yeah.
Occasionally he would bark, but I mean, not a barker.
He was with us 24/7.
Yeah.
Anybody who knows us knows he was literally and figuratively on our hip.
We bought a wagon. Those foldable those collapsible wagons. Yeah, we bought one of those to bring him everywhere with us, because at the campground where we stay in the summer, we'd go for a walk, and instead of you having to carry him, because he wasn't a very good walker at this point.
No.
And we just put him in the wagon with all his little pillows and his blankets, and we
parade him around.
Oh my God.
Basically is all it was.
Yeah. And the kids would come over and pet him, the adults would come over and pet him, the dogs would come over and sniff him, and there was treats in the one pocket, there's water bottle in the other pocket. Like, it just he was a big part of our planning, like our everyday planning. Like, we just drove my sister to the airport in San Antonio. It's a 2.5 hour drive, 5 hours return, if you will. And I grabbed a bag to pack his food because that's just what I would do.
That's what we did when we went to pick her up.
Yeah, I packed some food just in case, if we get doing something or,
Truck gets a flat and it's going to take us a little longer and it's past dinner time and just to make sure he gets fed.
Gets his food, and we always had his treats and water bottle for him, and right now it's just weird, like constantly like stretching my hand out and he's not there, because he was either on my lap or beside me or on your lap or
we do podcasts and we do before we start this, let's take him out for a pee, let's get him set up in a little blanket nice and comfy, and he would lay down beside us or between your legs or on your legs or whatever, and then he'd just go, okay, you guys are talking, I'll fall asleep.
So I don't know what y'all do, or if anybody, I know most of you that have animals have had experience with the loss, and it's not easy. It's just, you feel that bit of emptiness. You and I I feel a little lost the last few days.
Well, there's always been an animal in our life for the last 20 odd years.
26 years actually, 26. To be exact, if you want to get exact.
So, and then we had Gabby 28 years ago. So, I mean, we are now officially empty nesters, as you would refer to it. Because, I mean, you could be an empty nester when your kid moves out, but if you've got pets or animals, you still have a child around,
It's always been a buffer. I feel like he was always a buffer with us. Not in a negative way or whatever. It just, like, oh, did you get Monty, or did you get this, or did you go get that, or, same when we had Gabby, like, make sure you get her playpen, and, make sure you don't forget her diaper bag, and, like, it was always something, and now it's just like, oh,
just nothing.
Do you got your wallet?
Just get up and
I don't know.
Just get up and go to bed. We don't got to take anybody outside. There's no reason to go outside. We just we're sitting here and having dinner or playing cards or whatever, and it's okay. Want to go to bed? And we get up, brush your teeth, go to bed.
It's weird.
It's just so weird. It's I don't know.
But now we were saying, like, we, planning a trip or whatever, anytime I would go to book an Airbnb, it was always, like, okay, pick an area. All right. And for 2 people, and, there's 80 of them. Great. And then select, pets allowed. And now you have 3 options. Yeah. So now we'll have a lot more options. And they're always the top 3. So, I mean, I don't know if that's a worse thing to have more options, maybe too many options. But anyways, it's an adjustment period, and
you get to you feel kind of weird because you start thinking of all the things that you can do without a pet around,
but you can do, like you and I were talking about that. Sorry, I interrupted you. No. You can do, but without modification. Because there's nothing that we did
that he stopped us from doing.
I mean, we still rode our motorcycles. We have a carrier for him, and we flew to Portugal, and he was in his carrier, and he sat in a seat between us. Like, there's nothing that we went to really nice restaurants, and he came in with us, and he would always like lay on a chair and on a blanket, and he would go to sleep, and people would come over and be like, oh my God, like, he's so well behaved, and
he just needed to be with us.
He just had to be with us, and anyways, it just, sorry when I interrupted you when I said, it's not that we never stopped ourselves from doing anything, but now, like we were just saying, we were driving my sister to San Antonio. I'm like, we literally could just jump on an airplane and go right now. We don't have to fill out paperwork for Monty or.
Yeah, it's different. I mean, the trailer's at a campground, and say you paid for a month and it's there for a month. We could just ride off on the bikes and stay in a hotel overnight 2 days if we wanted to,
without asking or checking to see if the hotel takes animals. And, so it's.
Yeah, it's. I don't know. It's just, it changes your whole mindset. It's almost like your life takes a hard pivot. It doesn't change. You're going this way, and these are your parameters, and this is your bandwidth of what you're comfortable with doing, not what you're able to do, what you're comfortable with doing. Like, we could do a lot of things, and there's a lot of times we didn't do things because we're like, I don't know if they take dogs, and I don't want to do
it if they won't take my dog.
Yeah, and I'm not going to drive all the way there, and then they don't, anyway.
Yeah.
So, and then of course, when you say I'm going to bring a pet in, they're thinking, oh, you're going to bring a Rottweiler, you're going to bring a Great Dane, you get a horse, you got a service chicken. I don't know what they're thinking, right? So you just don't do it. I mean, you're just comfortable with not doing it. So, but now you all of a sudden, it changes your whole arcs. It changes everything you can do. It's just different.
Yeah. But you and I, like, we were in the car and you said, I'm like, well, which one of us is going to go in? And we looked at each other. We can both go in. Because normally one of us would stay in the car with Monty. Very, very, very rarely did we leave him in there. And if we did, we rushed. And we both went in because we needed to both go in. It was never...
Yeah, you needed 2 signatures on something in the bank or whatever.
Yeah.
Or
I mean, and half the time...
he's asleep in the back of the truck and it's fine out.
Yeah. And half the time, I mean, we'd bring him in, like we'd go to Costco, you'd bring him with us. And they'd say, oh, you can't put the dog in the cart because we put him, in the seat. And that, I mean, I'm just going to say that annoys the piss out of me, because you could put a kid with a shitty diaper sitting in that, but you can't put a dog.
Yeah, that's Costco's
anyways, but Walmart, amazing. Like the grocery stores, nobody says a goddamn thing. You can walk in there and it's great, but yeah, anyways.
It never really stopped us from doing anything. And
you don't feel rushed anymore. Like, I don't want to say anymore, because I still feel like that panic. That panic, like we got to hurry because we got to get back to Monty. Like, but it's just so weird.
Yeah, I used him a lot as a distractor.
Yeah.
So when we were in Portugal and we're walking around, and of course we don't know the area very well, and everybody's looking at the dog in a bag.
Yeah.
It gave me an opportunity to check out the human approaching the dog in a bag.
Yeah.
So now that's not there. I don't have the distraction. I have to do a one-on-one, and that's a whole different mindset of how I move now.
Yeah.
I'm used to having this dog in my hands or on a leash or whatever, and it was always, people would go up to him or whatever, and it's just, I'm not that guy with a dog in a bag anymore.
Yeah.
And that's okay, but I just have to. It's going to take a little mindset to figure that out.
Yeah.
That gut feeling of being able to assess a situation without the calming presence of having a dog there.
Yeah, it's going to be an adjustment for you too in that regard. Yeah.
Well, if people walk up to me, they're literally walking up to me because of me.
Yeah,
not because of the dog in the bag.
Whereas
like,
before, now it's going to be like, well, what the fuck is this guy coming at me for?
Yeah, and there was always a reason for someone to walk up to me before, whereas now there's not. So that has to be a mindset I have to change, and it's just different.
Yeah.
It's going to take a bit of adjustment. So.
But he's left a big hole in my chest, I tell you. I just, I every now and then I still catch myself, because I had a pretty freaking hard cry. Like that day, my head I felt was going to explode because I cried so hard. Anyways, I just, it's
left. It's like, when you talk about, when you're young and you have a breakup or whatever, and that person takes a piece of your heart with them.
Yeah. Right.
But he does. He was always he always had a big chunk of our heart, and he's gone. It's like there's a little hole there. There's a little, a little space left open, and it takes a minute to kind of fill it up.
I think we, you and I both talked, we're glad he's not in pain, and he's in a better place. He's in a better place. He's in a good place. I don't want to say better, because we had a lot of fun with him, and he was very, very, very well loved and taken care of.
He's achieved his full potential of life.
I know.
He's done what he needed to do, and I think he got us through where we needed to go.
Right. Yeah.
He helped me through a lot of things where my mind would be racing, and he would be what would fill my mind. Yeah. Which was good. When I was going through all my PTSD stuff, he was there for all of it.
I know, it's crazy, eh?
So he helped me a lot. He helped us a lot. There was always, in our relationship, it's just he was always something that we could agree on. Yeah. If we weren't agreeing as to what to have for dinner or where to go for supper or what to watch on TV, he was always something we were in agreement on.
Yep, he needs to be fed and he needs to go out, and those were all things. Yeah, you're right. We agreed on.
I don't know if there was ever hey Ken, maybe you should take Monty out for a pee just to get me the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
But you don't have that anymore.
Yeah.
Oh, I'll miss that guy. But you know.
So we wanted to share with you, and if you guys have been through some of the same things with your pets, they leave that bit of a gap there.
Yeah, we were prepared, and he will be referred to down the road in other podcasts. So just want to keep our listeners up to snuff as to where we're at in life and what's happened to. Why do they talk about the dog anymore?
Yeah,
where is he in the pictures?
So we don't know where we'll be next week. We're just our trip has been extended down here in Port Aransas for probably about a week or so. We're just waiting on Monty's ashes because we are bringing him home with us. We're gonna bury him with Harley on our friend's acreage there. So
he's gonna finish the trip with us, and we're just waiting for him to come back.
Waiting for the call. Yeah, waiting for the call to pick him up and bring him with us. And So then the next podcast could be from a truck stop. Or from, we're not sure yet. We may leave the beach. We may still be here. Who knows at this point? So thanks for listening, everyone. Thank you so much for letting us vent about our little guy. And
I'm sure you'll see more pictures of him, and he'll show up, and maybe he'll even come visit you in your dreams if you're lucky. I'm hoping he'll come in mine as well. So.
Yeah. All right, you guys have a great rest of your week.
And let's rock this 2024. We're going to do this.
Woo. All right.
Thanks for listening.
Bye.
Bye.